Microphone check, microphone check. You know what it is.
You already know what it is.
CDB, we back in here, baby.
Oh, yes, sir.
Episode number 7. Episode number 7.
Yup.
It was like deja vu all over again.
I feel like it a little bit.
At one point, baby.
Somehow I manifested myself into doom. I don't know how it happened.
See, I'm representing Griselda today.
You know what I'm saying?
Am I too loud? Am I good? Am I good?
No, everybody's
great.
No, I just want to make sure I turn myself down. I felt too loud. All right, go ahead, gentlemen.
Mic check 1 2 1 2. We in the building.
We in the building. So
Triangle
introduce yourself, Mr.
back
Ahan.
in effect. Ahan, the #1 Shogun. I'm gonna preserve my right to go because I would love for my esteemed colleagues, my brothers, my fellow kings to lead this off. I got an intro for the intro with the intro, so I'm gonna let you fellas go first.
Oh, he's surprising us today.
You know what I'm saying?
Ahead, OE.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know by now, my name is OE. Marcy's #1 shit talker. Live in effect right here. CDB, you know we all we got, baby. That's it.
All right. And I am the second third of this triangle. I am Chief Chris, aka the creator of chaos. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody know who it is, what I do, and what I say. Period. Boom. Go ahead, Ahan. Show them what it is.
Oh, don't play with me.
Nah, I'm playing with you today.
Okay. So
I'm playing with you
here's
today.
what we're gonna do. Pause.
Respectfully, please.
That is hilarious. So you know what? Actually, I saw something that I'm excited about.
So what do we do?
So can you fellas hear this?
Yeah, I see everything you're doing right now.
I see what you're doing. We can't hear it though.
No, we don't hear shit.
Stop it. All right, so give me a moment. I apologize. Technical difficulties. We're gonna share the screen. Make sure we got the sound. Here we go. What do we have? What is this? All right, so we begin again.
Yeah, reset.
We can play the same game.
Hey,
let's go.
Hey.
I've been trying to. All right, so the reason why I'm playing this is because it's producers that I'm really fond of, but at the same time too, I want to try and introduce black people into Indian and different stuff like that. You know,
calm down a little bit, King. I can't.
I'm trying to get y'all up on that height.
We can play the same game.
Hey. 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 Oh, yeah, hype, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He just sitting there.
I was like, I don't feel it. But then we can go on. See, I like flips. I really like instrumentals or, you know, acapellas from hip hop. You can flip.
Trying to keep it on me.
You are now tuned in. All right, fellas, let's go.
Let's go. I love the intro. I love that.
You know what I'm saying?
I love that.
We gotta throw it around a little bit, man.
Yeah,
I know
for
that,
sure,
like,
King.
you
actually gave me a very good idea.
You know
Next
what I mean?
podcast, everybody come in with their own intro.
Absolutely. Music. It could be
from anywhere.
Such a great thing. You know what I'm saying? It's like everybody has a wild card that they get to play, but I wanted to try and come in at a place where, we're very in high spirits. There's a lot of stuff that we've seen over the past, just news cycles upon news cycles. And I've become very exhausted with just stuff I've seen in the news. I think everybody has, especially over the last year, right? Like,
well, wait, hold on 1 second, King. Can we just have a 5-second moment of silence for DMX because of our last podcast?
Absolutely.
We did have, we covered DMX. So let's just have a 5-second moment of silence for DMX. All right, starting now. Throw your X up too.
You dig, man. So rest in peace, DMX.
Yes,
I think that it's important.
I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, not at all, man. Don't ever feel like that,
because of our last episode that we covered. We covered like our DMX topic. And everything.
Absolutely.
So I just felt like that's something that we can't leave out, and we need to present automatically up front,
right?
Like because we already expressed how we felt about it, and our recipes, condolences to his family, his friends, his loved ones, his fans around the world, and everybody who has journeyed with DMX during those times. So now continue.
Yeah, man. So above all, rest in peace to DMX. It's unfortunate to have seen him finally get out of the system, finally get to a place to where it's like we were able to view him in what we remember, right? To celebrate him.
Correct.
Was able to see it doing the versus battle with Snoop.
Man, beautiful.
It's tough. And not only that, because that's just like one thing that, like, since we've had a chance to come together, sit down, chat with each other when we're not already doing it in our own chat or Discord, is really just being able to like decompress out of all the stuff that's happening in the news. Like, bro, I'm tired. I'm exhausted. I know you're tired.
Okay.
I know O is like exhausted, like all of us, right? Like all of us.
Not only are we exhausted mentally, but we are also exhausted on a point where it's like, where do we go physically from this point?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, how do we take up arms? Like, do we take up arms in a violent manner, you know what I'm saying? Or do we take up arms in a peaceful manner that we've been trying to do for centuries now, you know what I'm saying? So it's like, it's very difficult for us to be able to understand, or not just us, but just people around the world to understand the background that we come from, you know what I'm saying? As another Black individual, as Omar, he's a representative of the Hispanic community, you know what I'm saying? So therefore, like, he knows the transgressions.
I'm also half Black, sir.
Right.
Oh, so he's also half Black. Yes, like, indeed.
You have so many inlets to different cultures, and it's through people. It's through their families, their lineages. Like, no one, and we've said this a couple of times. It was like, Black people aren't a monolith. Hispanic or Latin community, they are not a monolith. Like, there is no one big cluster or group. Like, Asians are not a monolith. And when you speak about Asians, like, in most Americans' minds, because we are not globally educated to look at history overall, look at the integration of different cultures into different like parts of the world, that when they say they are from a specific area, they really don't comprehend like who the makeup of the person is. Right. And, we try to like, and I think people do this commonly, and it's not just depending on what part of the world, like, just people in general, like, have to put things into a box, right? So much so that like it it helps them understand where whatever it is that they are viewing opposite from them, because remember, every single one of us is just their own form of consciousness. So everybody sees everything in first player mode.
Okay.
So
like my whole thing with this is like, and I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, go ahead, bro.
Yes, we'd like to hear your voice.
It's been going on for too long. This is not gonna, in my mind, this is not gonna change.
Mm-hmm.
We need to come together and unify. Just not just within the Black culture, Hispanic culture, as human beings.
Thank you. You said the right word. Human beings.
This is too much.
Mm-hmm.
Every week I'm seeing a video or an officer's body cam of somebody either getting shot, being harassed, or just being treated inhumanly.
Yes.
This has to change.
Honestly, let me ask you a question. How do you think that we can change? Like, because I know we always say like peace, but like, honestly, how do you think the world can change when you have so many people advocating for peace and advocating for world rights and advocating for like equality? You know what I'm saying? Like, where is the real line that we draw it to, that we could say that there's actually some kind of change going on, or some kind of change that it could be implemented in the humanity, like you said, the human race? Not just the fact about you're Black, you're white, you're Hispanic, you're Asian, you know, you're fucking anything, you know what I'm saying? Like, where do you see the medium?
That's a very good question. That's also a very tough question. I know that, you know, I'm a talking head.
Mm-hmm.
My opinion here, I'm giving you the best to out of my experiences.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to start like really holding people accountable, and it's if that can't happen, then, you know, the civil rights movement was only but 60 years ago, 70 years ago, and they tried peaceful, they tried by any means necessary. I think we need an amalgamation of the two.
So you think that, so honestly, not to put you on the spot of saying it, but do you think that maybe some kind of violent output is needed at one point?
Not really, because then it'll
good. Go ahead.
Wanton violence.
No, I'm not saying that we want violence. No, we don't want violence.
No, it's but I mean, it's do no harm, take no shit. Like that.
Exactly.
Like that's literally where most people of color, and really anybody at this point, because it's like there is a scarcity of trust. Like,
correct.
Most individuals are not even honest with where we are in time, right? Like, there's no concept of time. Most people just, their understanding of time is based upon first player mode. Right.
So you think that a lot of people are living in a different time frame compared to where we're trying to move now?
No, it's almost like it's a misconception of reality, where there are a lot of people that when you talk about like where we live in a nation that's based on imperialism, neocolonialism. It was built off of colonialism, but now it's neocolonialism. So you have the majority that are in the first tier of citizens, yet they understand that all of these things in just not even distant past, but like recent past, we're talking less than 60 years from the signing of the Civil Rights Bill, right? We are less than 60 years. That means that there are people alive today that were around and directly impacted, right? Either as children, or they literally were living and thriving during that time. So then fast forward to 1972, and then you're talking about the Discrimination Act. So, which moves into present day. This is impactful because even after the civil rights movement and the signing of the Civil Rights Act, but then you have a gap in time up until you can't even discriminate on people, right? But there are loopholes within the legislation and laws that most people are unwilling to look at. Since we are talking about what has transpired from Rodney King all the way to George Floyd.
Hey, what year was that at Rodney King? Was
Rodney
that 91?
King was 1992 or 1993?
91.
I'm just kind of
around it. I knew that. 92.
So then
I was off 1 year.
Riots.
So now go ahead.
But you also have the young girl who was shot and killed in a convenience store by a Korean shop owner. Now, again, this is just in Los Angeles. And the individual that shot the girl for supposedly shoplifting killed her, shot and killed her. The person served community service and had to pay a minimal fine, which led off and sparked. So it was also Rodney King, but it was a amalgamation of things. Like there's just a bunch of stuff that's just rolling downhill to the point where people no longer can take it. So then you see the LA riots. Now you see Minneapolis after the killing of George Floyd. Then you're looking at just consistency. Like, you know, the young man Dante, who was 20 years old, that gets killed in Minnesota.
May he rest in power.
Right. So then, and I can't remember his name. So if you gentlemen know his name, please let's.
The 13-year-old?
Yeah, no. Not the 13-year-old from Chicago, but the 20-year-old.
Yeah, it was right?
Deontay Wright. So you have Deontay Wright, and then you have a 13-year-old in Chicago. So then they show body cam footage of an unarmed 13-year-old boy who, according to, and I had posted this on my personal Facebook, right? Is that his family had reported him missing, I believe, 2 days prior. So then you have like body cam footage of him being shot unarmed with his hands in compliant position. This is 13 years old. So you have a 20-year-old.
I'm numb to these things.
Then a 13-year-old.
I'm not numb to it, because honestly, I have a 14-year-old.
The thing is, like, yes, of course, people are desensitized.
That's
but
what I'm
the
saying.
thing about it,
yes, I get what you're saying, but it's like, I get what you're saying. Go ahead.
People shouldn't argue against this. If people of color have shown you enough examples, and you have had an historical outlier from the inception of this nation moving forward, right? I'm just giving you benchmarks that there is something that comes to a head that it has to be written into law or legislation. How much further do we have to go to where we see our women, our men, our children?
That our children, more importantly, because it's 13.
You had a dude who was in the military, a military officer, whatever the dude's name is, in South Carolina, that approaches a young man who is on a public sidewalk walking around the neighborhood. Now, I don't know all the intangibles because the only thing that I saw was just the video. It didn't look anything right to the young man like being a threat or anything. But as someone who has a family member who is on the autism spectrum, I could see that there was something there that led me to at least identify that that is not correct. And I worry about that, right? Because, like I said, got a family member who has Asperger's. It's one of the lightest forms on the spectrum of autism, but still, I know that he cannot, you know, operate in what would be considered in most societal instances as a normal capacity. right? Being able to mine for oneself. So, you know, like just being able to look and identify it. Oh my gosh. What if that was my family member? What if that was them? What if
my whole thing about this, I'm sorry to cut you off,
bro, I just can't take it.
If you've noticed, every time that something like this happens, they prepare for riots. They prepare. They're like, yeah, we anticipate riots.
But why though?
Shouldn't be anticipating riots.
Here's the thing: I've never seen and when I say this, and I preface this by anyone that tries to say Black Panther Party did it in Oakland, California. I've never seen somebody run up in the precipice, like the Mount Olympus, which is Washington D.C.
of our politics and our democracy,
right? And run up in there and do what they did.
And there's rarely any consequences of that,
bro. We read it in the history books, but the thing about it, when it comes to the consequences, is it gets delegated and then like pushed out. Like, where is the information? Like, bro, if that's anybody, and we're looking at it, it's not the same, bro. It's not the same.
As far as the Capitol thing, if it was a people of color, you would have seen the first governmental mass shooting live on camera.
Bro, but you look at what happened at the Lincoln Memorial when Black Lives Matter, right? There was people that marched on the Lincoln Memorial, and it looked like the National Guard was ready to go to battle.
Yeah, they were ready to shoot.
So what I'm saying, one wrong move
and there would have been a massacre.
And people,
correction though, not to cut you off, and not correction also, but like, when do we as people, as the minority, understand like when we are actually safe?
No, bro.
And detaining ourselves, like when you say hands up.
Listen, I'm gonna give you a great quote from a okay movie.
Okay.
You are not safe. Your family is not safe. We will not.
But that's safe. What I'm saying, bro.
You understand why? Because we live in a society that, as people of color, we are deemed to be subhuman. We are, and they don't care about us. Kanye West may be nuts, may be crazy, but he had one thing. George Bush at the time didn't care about black people. He didn't care about colored people. None of them do, bro. We have to get ourselves.
But that's my thing, bro. How do we know when we safe, bro? Like when we are detaining ourselves, hands up. Like, listen, I have no weapons. Listen, I want to be safe. I want to go home. You lock me up, whatever. I want to live. You know what I'm saying? Like, when is it a point
when you get stuff like that? It's not up to you, sir. It's not up to you.
Bro, but that's the most heartbreaking thing in this country that is built off of certain morals or certain ethics of saying like, oh, the land of the free. How the fuck are we the land of the free?
Yeah, free for who?
Exactly.
In their eyes right now, you're not really a man.
But here's
the thing, my brothers.
Like, and this is where, like, speaking in objective truth, I want to see people live in that world. I want to see people that say, like, are we actually living in objective truth? Are we talking about where everything is equal, where things are actually the same in what we can dictate? Don't feed me a line and tell me that, like, everything is equal when you do not see the equivalent. We were talking about, right, when we talk about how many people make up the population, how often do you see that in different places across the country that the smaller population or demographic, I may say, is policed at an exponential amount compared to the majority of the demographic. Like,
you're asking us? or you
No,
want
I'm
to
just it's
do you want us to
it's a
elaborate on what you
rhetorical
just said?
question.
Like, no, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah, it's a
I was giving
rhetorical
you a
question.
space, so go ahead.
Or a
brother.
rhetorical question, excuse me, rhetorical, Jesus. It's a
Rhetorical.
rhetorical question.
Yes,
I mean,
King, go ahead.
because we do know this. We have talked about it. Like together, we have all talked about this. So I really don't understand where like people are they omit stats, right? They'll bring certain stats and they'll talk about like, oh well, you know, there are crimes and blah 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 blah, and it's it's based on policing. They're not honest. They're like fraudulent numbers. So then when you're talking about like,
okay, so let me ask you guys a question.
Go ahead.
Where did this particular incident take place?
Which one we talking about right now, brother?
About Deontay Wright. That was Illinois, correct?
No, that was in Minnesota.
Minnesota. Okay.
Yes, so, and the recent one, the 13-year-old, was in Illinois,
Chicago.
Yes. Okay, so now let me give you a couple of numbers. In Minnesota, the state percentage of population by
also,
race,
brother, not to cut you off, but that was also 10 miles away from the area where George Floyd. No, I'm just giving another statistic of Minnesota. So go ahead, brother. Elaborate.
So, there are 5.3% of the state population is Hispanic.
In Minnesota, we're talking about, right?
Yes, in Minnesota.
Okay.
79.9% are of Caucasian descent. Of non-Hispanic Black descent is 6.4. So this, you have to understand, this is a predominantly white, predominantly Caucasian state. There's only 6.4 of black people, African Americans, and even less of Hispanics, of people of color. So people of color make up
about
11% of the population. No wonder these things happen the way they happen, because
you said 75 of Caucasian, right?
79.9.
79. So that's what, 10% out there?
11%.
Of our Hispanic and Black.
11.7% of the population is of color.
So it's about 9% left out there that's like probably Asian and whatever else.
Asian is 4.9, and non-Hispanic American Indians are 1% of the population.
Crazy.
So now, what do you think that so now you think that the population being on the white side, you know, saying more dominant in that area, do you think that plays more?
Across the board.
Hold on, I was gonna say, do you think that plays more of a dramatic input on people living and everything like that, and also the laws compared to other states? Because
so let me ask you, just so I can clarify your statements and I understand what you're saying.
Okay.
Are you saying that the question is, are you asking, is the white population dictating what is happening based on what's going into legislation?
Correct.
Absolutely.
King. Because no, that's what I was asking. Because that's exactly what I was asking. That's exactly what I was. Thank you for taking that over.
Yeah, no, and you're right. Absolutely, it does, because it's impactful.
But do you think that that's more? Now, also, I have another question.
Okay.
All right. Now, tell me one state that is more popularized or more the demographic and the African American or even the minority prospect, you know, saying to the point where it's like we have certain laws over here where they won't get them off over there compared to a 90%.
California is the highest populated Hispanic, highest populated state with Hispanic descent.
And then also too, if you look at certain southern states, like different things across the map are absolutely different, because in theory, each state can govern itself. When it comes to federal regulation or federal legislation, that is what everybody statewide agrees upon across the map. Okay. So those, in theory, that's what you're seeing. But each state has their own particular policy. So they differ based on just historical impact. And I think a lot of times when you're looking at states below the Mason-Dixon line, right? Even though, Omar, adding to your point, you have California being the highest population of Hispanic Americans or Hispanic citizens from that descent or demographic. Yeah, of course, because it is a very large state. It has a large population. But
also coastal region, I think too.
That regionally, that's based
it's
coastal,
on, and it's also is actually that's one of the turning points for Hispanic culture as far as.
Yes, I'm saying it's coastal regional.
But
for that point,
let me give you guys a tidbit of information.
Okay,
you probably heard of Chocolate City. The District of Columbia is the highest territory or state in terms of state of having African American descent. Okay. They lead with 45.3%.
Okay.
That is the highest in the country.
So within the
45.3?
Yes.
Okay.
Close to 50%.
Yeah. No, I'm just making sure you said that. I heard you right.
But go then ahead, I want to know what
what's the other demographic on the background?
No,
so at least of the census.
Like, then if that's the highest population, like across the country, then you want to ask the question of what's the living, like what's the average cost of living across, or maybe household income.
Horrible.
Right. And what was this place you just mentioned again, King?
District of Columbia.
Yeah. Washington, D.C.
Yeah. Okay. So no, just making sure we are accurate on our
black
points.
People is in Washington, D.C.
Right.
Believe it or not.
No, that's a fact. I've known that.
That's
over
for a
long
Georgia,
time.
Over Atlanta. That is the highest population of African American descent in the country.
So then that's where I asked the question to where it's like, what is the household income in those demographics look like? Because that is important. Well, if people know, which is kind of like what we saw within like the gold rush, people moved out west because they were chasing gold.
I see.
So if people, which, you know, you see this culturally where a lot of people move down to Atlanta or down in the Georgia area, but at the same time too, you have laws that are being put in place to where it's like
this sounds,
it's going against what their actual, and it's not on their behalf, because like you look at what happened in the last presidential election. You saw a state that always, or at least the majority of way it voted when you went to the two-party system, was a red state, right? So it was very conservative in everything that they did, which played into the old ways of thinking.
The median household income for households in Washington, D.C. is $85,203.
Okay, which
it's that's one of the highest in the country.
That is one of the
highest.
I
must say 85,000 for the median.
Median
household income.
That's
just
the average.
Yeah, I said medium.
We all know.
Average, median. Yeah, same shit. You know what I meant.
And the thing about it is like, depending upon where you live, just like the cost
doesn't make sense to me.
It's trying to, and it's not like we're saying we have a grasp on it. It's just us trying to bring these statistics into a place of like, we actually are understanding, and then we are having these like conscious conversations about what's happening.
That goes back to when you had your interview with the Cincinnati running for mayor, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And when he talked about the building of how long it would take for financially everybody to have housing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It was the 53 years
housing. And the thing with
a lot of things play into that factor right there, bro. So go ahead, King. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, I mean, I appreciate you. That's a really good segue, because like when you're talking about all of these things, like people that are policing black, brown neighborhoods, right? Like people of color, they are not people of the area. Like,
that's
so
the problem we've had in New York City for the last 25 years.
Man, that's really the problem you've had almost everywhere. Like, people that live or work in government.
But I think we particularly pay attention to more of our state sometimes, because like even like when you said that when you had the interview with the guy from mayor running in Cincinnati, you know what I'm saying? When it comes to like our state legislation, you know what I'm saying, and our state politics and everything is going on, some people may pay attention more to what the fuck is going on in their community as opposed to what's going on in fucking Alaska.
Right.
What's going on in Ohio.
That's understandable,
you know so, like,
but like,
let me be honest with you guys. And some people, educated, not some, a small amount care, you know, are aware
about their
of things
bubble.
Aware of the
country
community. No, not even the country.
No,
community.
Okay.
A bunch of people. All right,
most of us, in all honesty, we care about 2 people removed from us. That is the circle. That is the bubble that we care about.
There's a bubble. There's other people that are very global. So, and that's what brings into the conversation, which again, man, we're segueing like crazy. We're killing it today, but there's a lot of stuff that when, you know, and prime example is to where like some people only stay within their town. Like they only like to go out to the local restaurant, bar, whatever, every now and then, which would be like a splurge for them is like they'll go a little bit further out, but they won't ever venture to a place that's like they're not the dominant species in that area. Right. So that's what happens with people just in all reality of life. There's people that can't even look outside of like their hometown or the politics of their hometown, but then they have to every 4 years try to figure out who to vote for, but not even real like at the national level. And they're like, well, that person's making a lot of good points, but really they're getting like swindled by the person who is literally a town over that is in their own local government, dropping some type of ball somewhere that they will vote yes for, but it votes against their own interest. And then 2 years later say, oh, well, thanks, Obama. No,
the funniest thing I've ever heard.
It wasn't his fault.
This is the funniest thing I've ever heard in politics. Someone told
it wasn't
me
his fault. It was the chick that lives probably right next door to you, or she doesn't even live in your town, but she's on your city committee, and then she's voting for stuff that doesn't even impact her. But
the funniest thing I've heard, bro. This lady told me when I went to go vote for municipal in my township, said, well, I'm gonna vote for this guy because things been running smooth. Everything is fucked up at this moment, but you're still gonna run for him. You're gonna vote for him because everything is going smooth according to what you think.
How does that even happen, ma'am? Like, but that's
taxes are up.
That's the problem, bro. Is like people in the age of information, there's no excuse for you to be stupid.
Absolutely, but people try to win
them.
People try to win the gold medal with that every day.
But that's the problem, fam, and we understand this. The best thing that we can do as gentlemen that come together to have a powwow, we sit down, we chat with each other, we're talking like we have become good friends, right? We can honestly all three say this. And we understand
brothers from another mother, bro.
You know what I'm saying? And
we all we got, baby.
C.D.B, baby.
We are. But like we also are trying to incorporate other people into the conversation in so many different ways, because instead of like having a conversation and talking back and forth with one another, right? Like there are 2 people or multiple people that are engaged in a conversation, which creates growth and allows for there to be intellectual growth and thought, right? People look at like
we also leave leeway for them to also input and have a you know, saying a certain opinion about certain things.
Conversation.
Right. Exactly, because like even though we touch these certain type of topics, you know what I'm saying, and we are opinionated about things, you know what I'm saying, and we all feel the way we feel. We may not feel the same way all the time. But there is
it's okay.
But there is somebody out there who could say, yo, I feel where A-Hun's coming from. I feel where OE's coming from. Oh, Chief is talking about this, you know what I'm saying? So it's always an open conversation, you know what I'm saying? And we all and also we also just try to enlighten people, you know what I'm saying? Like
we're trying to bring attention to a lot of things that most people aren't even looking at.
Correct.
But don't get it confused. These are our opinions.
Oh yeah, 1000%.
But at the end of the day, we're trying to bring these conversations to the forefront. That three men of color can just sit down and have a conversation about any topic.
Absolutely.
It what it is.
And it be at least like most people yeah, and it is a very unified conversation. Like again, there might be things that we disagree upon because in previous episodes we've talked about who agrees whether or not a collegiate athlete should be paid, right? Absolutely. Like we weren't on the same page on that, but the whole thing about it is like we at least allowed for each other to have a space. Now there's certain things that when we are having a conversation that are non-negotiables, and we have prefaced that multiple times, so I shouldn't have to repeat, nor any of my colleagues here should have to repeat what is non-negogical.
Correct.
Period, Pooh.
Like it's super equality. When you say equal across the board. I don't care 1000%. What you do or do not disagree with, as long as it does not harm in any way, shape, or form. And I mean that physically, mentally, emotionally, like secondarily, because there are different things, like the impact of something that could happen to someone may not impact that person directly, but it might impact people that are attached to that person. So
perfect example, DMX.
Yeah.
Some people didn't understand the impact on that.
You can pick and pull.
But go ahead. I just brought them up because we said it earlier.
And it's appreciated.
But go ahead, King.
Because you can pick and pull. You can look at like, DMX was flawed. We all know that. But the thing about it is that people who may sit and say something that would be of some type of negative verbiage and judge him from a distance could not or would not want to themselves be judged, right? Because if we then turn the microscope around on them and then we start to examine everything about them, if you are not 1000% clean in any way, shape, or form, you have no right to tell anybody.
Don't throw stones if you live in a glass house. Don't throw.
You are so right. You know what I'm saying?
One of my favorite quotes of all time.
Get them.
One of my favorites. Oh, take it away. Like you hit it right on the point.
Listen, my thing is, we're not here to belittle. We're not here to say we're better than you.
Of course not, Kane.
We see everybody in this triumvirate has a different point of opinion. We don't agree most of the time. Most of the time, you gotta be honest.
It depends on.
We do agree, but we
no. Honestly, it depends. Well,
we like to argue. We like to argue with each other. No, that's the thing.
It's never gonna go so far.
You don't like Eminem. I like Eminem. We don't agree. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Example number one. Let's keep moving.
And I might be the biggest Wu-Tang dude in the group, but hey, it is what it is.
Exactly.
Wait, what?
That's up for debate.
Yeah, I'm about to say
very seriously
up for debate. For that.
No.
Wu-Tang
you saw how you tried to slide that, though.
Yeah, I did. I
tried to slide that.
Yeah, like
try to get it off.
Regardless of what.
But anyways,
to circle us back to this topic.
The whole point
is if I tell y'all straight up, I tell the people that are listening, if you don't stand for something, you're gonna fall for anything. Don't let.
Right.
These are dangerous times that we're living in. You can go outside and literally get shot for being outside.
All right.
For going to go get your trash.
Wait a minute, because everybody's in. I'm not trying to spook anybody.
It's
right?
not a spooking. I need people to be consciously aware.
It can happen. You should have spatial awareness, but at the same time too.
Let me ask you guys a question real quick.
You got to understand why we are where we are.
Let me ask you a question real quick, bro. Has anybody seen that that Amazon fucking horror like series, whatever case may be, them?
Never see it.
No, dude.
Have you seen it? No, right? Bro, now, honestly, people have been telling me for the longest. Like my girl's been trying to get me to watch this series, right?
No, dude.
And then honestly, bro, when I heard Joe Budden, his last fucking podcast, when he spoke about what he's seen in the first couple of minutes and everything like that, I said, this is nuts. And then my girl tagged me today on Facebook because one of her friends mentioned it. And it's like,
yo,
I don't want to watch the traumatic shit.
People are dorks. Here's the thing, though. Most of that stuff is actual like representation of what's happened. Like,
it is correct. You're 1,000% correct.
Like discriminated against,
gentlemen,
but like it's got a little bit of magic in it. Hang on, it's got a little bit of magic in it. So, it must be fantasy. No, this happened. Like, I'm so angry with everybody, and like I'm about to spaz out. Like, I'm so tired of people trying to disconnect away. Well, hey, have you seen that show? No, bro. Have you watched like the trial of the officer who put his knee on the back of a dude's neck for 9 minutes? Have you watched that? Oh, by the way, did you see the video or the cam footage of the Latino and Black soldier who got pulled over in Virginia in December of 2020? Did you see that video where he had his hands out the window and he said he was in fear for his life? And then the officer said, you should be. You should be. Pepper sprayed him in the face. And then they wrestled him to the
multiple times.
But then I've also seen a video of a white dude who caught a taser in the chest, then chased the officer down, then got into the driver's seat of the officer's car and still didn't die. But then I've seen another video. Hang on, because we're not there yet. We're just starting. So then I've seen another video of a white dude who had a handgun and refused to give his license, his CCWs. He had his handgun or some type of gun sitting in the passenger seat of his car, and then he refused to get out of the car, and then told the officer there were two officers that were guns drawn, but they still didn't shoot, and he still refused to get out of the car, closing the car multiple times, telling and threatening the officer, saying that he was going to shoot him. And then, wait a minute, here's the kicker. Did you see the video of the gentleman who had an AR-15 who was apprehended or pulled over by a police officer? Yet, for some reason, the police officer didn't feel that there was a justifiable threat, that he then said, hey, we're going to need to confiscate this. So can we go ahead and take it? He's on the passenger side of the car, from when I saw that the driver, who quote unquote was labeled as a drug dealer in the headline, unfortunately ended that officer's life. Yet you see this. This is real life. This is happening all over.
I have one more example.
Want to ask me about something that has already probably happened, except for magic, which really Black people have also, and people of color have also made and done. Thank you for the lights that we have. Thank you for the street signs that allow us to drive in traffic. Thank you for the two Black gentlemen that created the vehicle that predated the Model T that was quote unquote built by Henry Ford. But okay, there's so many things that you see around you that you take for granted.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And it pains me.
That also brings back to my question, what I said to you guys earlier. where do we find a medium for peace?
I'm at peace with me.
Like
absolutely.
where are we properly?
Listen, we have to look into our own now. They're not gonna give us no. Listen, we have to build our own fucking tables, bro. We have to. We can't. We gotta stop trying to sit at their table, deal with them the way they want to deal with them. They want us to deal with them. We have to deal with our own first.
Yo, I'm not stepping on.
We have to do for our own. Now is the time. Now is the fucking time for us to really come together and as colored people. Fuck them.
Yo, everybody's included, but
it's over.
Hey, listen. I'll say like this.
If you're a white person, if you're a person of non-color that wants to join us in our cause, by all means,
yeah,
you're invited.
We not cut you off. We love you. We embrace you.
Listen, we love y'all. Listen. You want to join us? That's fine. You don't have to, because we're gonna keep moving. It's time for change within ourselves, within our communities. We're not gonna stand for this shit no more. It's time for us to get the wheels turning, get the shit moving. I'm not gonna send my 14-year-old son, my 12-year-old son out there to be shot while he just fucking stands on a corner or takes out my trash outside.
Right.
I'm not having it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's tons of videos, and I just pulled up as many as just came to mind. But then I also realized,
and one more example that you gave.
Yeah. The one dude that took his trash out. No, the one. No.
This one is funny that as how differently we are treated by police. There was a guy in a white SUV that just calmly dragged the police officer. Just stole the police.
I just read this today, bro.
This motherfucker stole the police. Still hasn't given him back. I don't know.
Yo, when you said that shit, when you posted that shit,
and he's alive.
He's alive.
He's
alive. Took the police on a ride. I've never seen nothing like it. He's
alive. He got apprehended.
Then a black individual can walk to his car and get shot.
He took a mug shot, and it was an old, grizzly looking dude. You know what I'm saying? Straight. Like,
I'm sorry, y'all. But
hold on, can we get to one point
I'm
real quick?
To keep myself from crying.
What happens when you have
insane?
Hold on one second. What happens when you have the individual who died in Chicago? You know what I'm saying? The young man, 13 years old, when they had the police, the dispatchers.
So
bro, that's part of the course.
Hang on. No, time out, because he is bringing up a good point. So when we talk about,
I know, I'm talking about
13-year-old
Adam,
according to the police officers,
Toledo
said that he was either aggressive or there was some type of preface that they needed to garnish lethal force to subdue him. Yet when you see the body cam footage,
I didn't see any.
When you see the body cam footage, the young man has his hands up with nothing in hand. The officer says, "Drop it," or whatever, and shoots him one time in the chest. And then they try to act as if they are going to save him. Bro, you literally just shot a 13-year-old boy in the chest. Yet, afterwards, dispatch and all radio communication tells all officers within the vicinity to turn off their body
Sawyer.
That person
to turn off their body cams. Bro, it's not just a person. It's multiple people. Multiple.
Because in my opinion, and this is my girl, she said that the reason why they wanted to instruct them to turn off their body cam is because now they want to create a different scene.
Right.
Me and my girl had this conversation earlier today. After you sent the video to me earlier, bro.
Narrative. That's what
hang on.
Yeah, narrative. Yes.
We gotta get past this because I'm getting aggro a little bit, and I want to make sure that like we cover as much as we can.
Yeah.
But it's a lot, man. This is like, my mind is getting weary. I'm tired of living through like historical events, which will go down in some format of history, that we are literally just ripples in time. I'm tired of living through like existential crisis after existential crisis, to where like we all have to be in fear of something. Like, I would actually just like to live. Like, I don't just want to survive. Like, I would like to live some type of dream that I can leave this planet like in a better place than where I found it, where all of us can do these things. But in like, we all have to live in objective reality. Like it.
Bro, let's just put a cap on this by saying that
I got it.
That we need to create change within our own communities. We can't expect the opposition to change and suddenly embrace us. They brought us here in chains. They if it was up to them, they would want to see us still in chains.
Correct.
Rest in peace to everybody. Rest in peace to everybody that
rest in peace to Adam. To Adam. Rest in peace to Deontay. George Floyd. Rest in peace to Breonna Taylor. Rest in peace to Eric Garner. Rest in peace to all of our people that we've lost during these times, where we continue to fight for our freedom and continue to fight for just equality.
Rest in peace to all the people that have not been captured on video, that have led us from Emmett Till all the way until now. And the people, for every Emmett Till, there's at least 10, 20, 30, or 100
that hasn't been broadcast.
That you don't even know about.
Correct.
Exactly.
Correct.
So, gentlemen, we're gonna pivot. This is a lot.
Hang on, I got it.
Yes, please.
1 2 1 2 my dog is bigger than hip hop. It's bigger than hip hop. One thing about music, when it hit, you feel no pain. White folks say it controls your brain. I know better than that. That's game, man. We ready for that. 2 soldiers head of the pack. Matter of fact, who got the gat and where my army at? Rather attack and not react. Back to beats, it don't reflect on how many records get sold on sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Whether your project's put on hold in the real world.
Double A, hit me with some of that sound of the
just like me and you.
Fight the power. Fight the power.
Got you.
That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast. That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast. That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast. That's the sound of the police. That's the sound of the beast.
Hit that one.
Hit that, please.
All right.
All's my life I has to fight, nigga.
This is the cat.
All's my life hard times like bad trips like
if y'all
Nazareth.
would like to
I'm fucked up, homie.
enjoy
You fucked
this.
up, but if God got us, then we gon' be alright.
Nigga, we gon' be alright.
Hey,
nigga,
we gon' be alright. Hey,
we gon' be alright. Do you hear me? Do you feel me? We gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. Huh? We gon' be alright. Nigga, we gon' be alright. Do you hear me? Do you feel me? We gon' be alright.
Huh? When I wake up.
Yeah.
Listen. We're gonna get to something a little bit more lighthearted.
Man,
Yes,
we gotta,
let's get something light.
We got to.
Woo!
Let's get to something light.
Man,
Please, Kings.
I'm gonna tell you what. We are definitely gonna be all right. Yeah, I mean, shout out to everybody that just we got to make it through. We got to do it together. That's the only way we're gonna be able to do it. You got to look to your right, look to your left, look to the people around you. If they're not picking you up, then leave them where they are. And find people that are going to uplift you while you can do the same for them. It is the equivalent exchange. If you have not watched Full Metal Alchemist, then you will not understand the universal principles of alchemy. Again, equivalent exchange.
Equivalent exchange.
Now, in regards to exchange, i.e. currency or some format, we got this wild story that has swept the internet of Usher.
Listen, man.
All right, now hold on. I got a question for y'all. I got a question for you guys. Both of you guys.
Don't laugh at the goat.
Nah. Hold on. I want to ask you a question.
This man right here.
Will you throw your own dollar bills, 20s, 100s, and
right? I'll put it in the.
Hey, bro.
Will you throw your own shit in the club, bro? Like, honestly.
Why not? The fuck? Why not?
Somebody paid for that.
These motherfuckers ain't looking at the fucking money anyway.
Somebody paid for that.
So you gonna get a bunch of free pussy and ass dropping on you all night with the OE on it.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. Abso-fucking-lutely. You out of your mind?
I'm so weak.
Because I'm not gonna hold you. So would I.
Hey. I know a few people that have gotten on Instagram and bought in those fake bundles of like the play money to act like they just getting bands out here, and then they put it in their luggage to flex on the gram. Bro, it's crazy, man. And I know folks.
But my thing is though, Double A, would you go to the club with your face on them?
Like, bro,
your face on the dollar bill.
It's like people that just got like fake money, right? But it's still like it looks like actual currency. But my man, Usher, literally got his the black Mohican on,
man.
on the 20, on 100, on the 1. Gotta have like the 5
that
and
type
the 10
of effort.
This is crazy, bro.
How the fuck, yo?
Somebody paid for this. Somebody did
this.
Somebody did this. Somebody did this. That is so wild, bro. I'm out of here.
Yo, I can't. Like, cause honestly, you know what it is? Like, after I found out that it was supposed to be for his what was it?
Residency in Vegas, right?
And
so
Vegas,
it happened in Vegas.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah,
exactly.
it happened in Vegas. It was for his residency in Vegas. So, but still wild though. Like, still super wild.
But bro,
this
you're
is crazy.
Usher. You're Usher. You know what I'm saying? And you're Usher. You know what I'm saying? And you're throwing your Usher Bucks out there, right?
Yo, you're on mute, bro. How'd you do that? I don't even hear it right now.
No, I don't hear him either.
Look, nope, nothing, bro. What'd you do?
Not at all.
Yeah, we live.
Oh,
yeah, now we live and lit, nigga.
I forgot how to use my mic. Pause.
Hey, yo.
See?
He said, "Everyone wake up."
Yo, they about to kill you in the Discord, bro. Listen. Yo, man was trying to use his mic. Pause, bro. And he can't, nothing.
Yo,
nothing, old flaccid headed.
My brother.
I love you guys, yo. I fucking love you guys, man.
It's all right, though. If you got the Usher Bucks, you can get them all.
I'm gonna send you a couple $100. Just
you gonna send me some Usher Bucks? I wonder if I can use that for some crypto, bro.
Wait, are you about to NFT? Are you about to NFT your shit?
By the way.
Yo, let me find out.
About to NFT Usher Bucks?
Usher's dropping his own cryptocurrency that you can buy with Usher Bucks. It's like Dogecoin out here, bro. There's so much stuff that has happened in the world. I cannot take. Like, I am an overload. Like, Usher came out here with hundreds, and it's like minted. Like, somebody did this.
Let me be very honest with you, sir. Don't ever disrespect the Doge. You heard? Don't ever
the
disrespect
dog coin.
Yeah. Don't ever disrespect that. I just made 2 stacks.
Shout out to the Dogecoin cats, man. I'm not even mad at you.
Money out here.
Hey, man,
shit flowing out here.
I'm just happy to see people that are like me. Or around me that are, man, I can't even get mad. Like, I want to try and that's the thing too about sharing, like, what you think would help, right? And I take this with a lot in regards to like how we speak. I can only like, it's not financial information when you're talking about crypto or whatever, unless you are like,
unless I'm giving you
advice, if you are licensed in financial advising and different things like that, right? Then don't like it's not financial advice. So anyways, we went off track a little bit, but I think when talking to people, the whole reason about it is like, I personally am trying not to like guide them in a way that I think is the right way. Like, I just want to be like, hey, congratulations. Good for you. I'm glad to see you doing it. Whatever. You know what I'm saying? There might be other things out there that you could do or capitalize on, but if that's a win, enjoy that win. Right. Listen, and I had to catch myself a little bit. So I'm happy for everybody in Dogecoin, but Usher Bucks is wild, bro. I don't listen. I just want to know.
Take some of my Dogecoin and I'm gonna invest in some Usher Bucks. Because I'm gonna throw it all on these hoes at Lou Turks. That's a regular.
Yo, can you imagine if one Usher $100 bill cost you like can you imagine like it like, oh, you want
an Usher Buck cost you 500?
Like, you get the fuck out of here. Bro,
have you?
That is a completely and utter L.
Susio time.
All right, so hold on.
Hang on, Susio time. So have you ever went to like a gentleman's establishment and like
you mean a strippy?
Yeah. Yes. And then like they've given you their version of currency. Never?
Strippy club you be
what do you mean?
Yeah, bro. Like, hey, man, this place called Diamonds.
Club we be going to?
Unfortunately, hey, man, in Ohio, bro, this place called Diamonds.
You buy their currency to give them money?
Wait, hold on. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, wait, hold on. Do you buy the strip clubs money to throw at them bitches?
I promise you.
The females, the women. Sorry, the women.
Double A, you putting out there a genius level idea that that shouldn't be said on this.
It's already out here, bro. They're already doing it now.
I'm kind of
crazy
amazed by that. Like,
yeah, no, they
go in there, you have to pay for that clubs.
Yeah. And so like for every
that's kind of ingenious.
It was literally like for every $2,
because it's like I know that
was a $2 like a single $2 bill of theirs. Yeah, it was wild. It was crazy. But here's the wild thing, though, is that you could bring in your own adult beverages. Yep.
So they wasn't really like basically like you could bring your own drinks and everything.
Yeah, they didn't serve.
But they didn't serve at all.
They didn't serve at all, but you could bring in. I think they even had like a VIP bar, I believe. So
see, I would rather go to that kind of establishment because at least I know I'm gonna bring my own shit in there, and I'm gonna just pay for y'all niggas, y'all fucking currency and everything.
Crazy, man. My man.
But I'm gonna get lit on my shit because I know this is 100%. Because everybody know when you go to the club, your drinks is watered down anyway.
Right, but
so if I bring my own shit in there.
They're cashing out, bro, and they can they can print as much of their own currency or Usher Bucks as humanly possible, and then you just grab it like gratitude. You'll exchange your money, bro. It's crazy.
Off air, like I need you to give me the exact location. For real, I want to see what their currency looks like.
I'm about to go over there and see
I'm about to counterfeit the shit out them bitches.
But it's crazy. It kind of looks like a club, but I would say that they're cute.
I ain't going to pay. I ain't going to pay for no $5.
You went over there for Shotgun Tuesdays, huh?
Man, listen.
Yeah, I ain't going to. It
was on a Saturday. They didn't have an A team out there. They had.
We're not doing that.
I mean, there was a couple.
We're not doing that.
Now, let me stop because there was a couple of them that were.
Hey, I say, hold on, because some of the bitches was bad. Not bitches, but some of them women.
No, he can't say that. He can't say that. So there's an issue.
Sir,
I'm sorry. I'm saying.
No. But anyways. I digress. Yeah, I mean,
they were the G League strippers.
Let's score 8. Let's score 8-2-2.
They'll give you a hard 4-4 with 4 fouls.
Aw. Man, they had the chicks that were.
You said I averaged 2 points, 1 rebound, and 6
Bro, they had the
but
6
since we are in sports, talk right now, gentlemen.
Yo, they had the 6-man coming off the bench, bro.
Oh, nah, they came out the street.
Wow.
Yo, you need a job? Yeah, I want to be a waitress.
I mean, it's cool.
You guys are crazy, man. You guys are fucking crazy.
You guys are crazy.
Because it's crazy. Like,
yeah, we were wilding out here, but this is all stemming from Usher Bucks. We went into crypto. We went into gentlemen's establishments that
it was a good
make their own currency, and then they exchange it for real currency. Really, going back to crypto now. What is the value of $1 for real?
The value of $1 is whatever we make it to be.
I mean, so we're sitting here capping on Usher Bucks, right? But like literally, we all walk around with funny money backed by what?
Listen. In all actuality, I salute him for doing this shit.
Yo,
it was funny,
bro. To promote a residency.
Did this.
Let's go.
See, I'm not Usher. I don't have that type of cachet.
Bread.
That bread.
I feel you.
But
that fettuccine.
They know he has so much money that they wouldn't even dare question the money. But now, every time he goes to a strip club, he has to get his credit checked. he gotta make it.
So hold on, Usher. Let me see your money. Let me see.
Nah, we gotta run your credit, bro. What's your credit looking like?
Yo, that's so flagrant, bro.
Hey, hold on. Let me see the stack of ones.
Here's the thing, though, is that, like, according to sources, which they're not really sources, bro. It's like he was throwing real money, right?
No. So now let me ask you a question. It's just, if you were that type of person, would you say you were throwing fake money? Like your publicist would be all over that, right?
Yeah,
I would assume that he's already paid whomever it was.
Comped.
Yeah, in the club. Yeah. Whatever owner he would. I assume, like you said, Double A, like he must have talked to somebody and said, "Yo, listen, I'm gonna come in here. I'm gonna do this and that. I'm gonna throw some real cash, but what I'm doing right now is I'm gonna throw these Usher Bucks to promote my
Chief,
shit."
Let me explain something.
Okay.
When I know a couple of people that they run with heavy names. Whenever these people walk into the club, everything is comped.
Right.
Everything.
But that
even related to the money.
Yo, isn't that so crazy though? That like
they didn't pay for anything even out of their own pocket to give money.
Here's the crazy thing is, like, when people get to a certain status, they get things for free.
Even money they give, like, the club would give them money to throw. Just because they're making an appearance and they're making that money back. Yeah. It's basically they're giving them a loan to be there.
I agree.
You're at a strip club. Let me get you $10,000-$15,000. That way you can throw it. I'm still gonna be taxing the girl. Just off the strength of your name being.
I wouldn't say 15,000, 10,000, but 10, I would say like
no, bro. That is possible. That is possible.
You believe that
is literally possible. Like, think about it, man. Like, prior to the pandemic, you had certain people in artistry, right? That in different genres that they could show up and demand like a booking fee. Right. I've worked with different artists to where, like,
give me 10,000, I'll show up.
You're sitting there calling like, hey, I'm trying to get this artist. I'm trying to get this artist. Bro. And it got to a point to where it was like, I'm trying to make money off of someone else based on the value of what their name is versus
absolutely.
Like, you know what I'm saying? If people want to rock with me or rock with us or whomever I'm associated with, working with in a realm of professionalism, then I get to demand and create my own value. It's not predicated on what I do for that person to push them up. I just give people the opportunity to create their own platform or to do what they wish to do. We just so happen to be doing this where we are manifesting our own value. Whether or not people see it is predicated on how aware they are of what they are looking at. So when you go to a comic book shop and you find like, you know, issue 0 of Uncanny X-Men, which is the 1970 something pressing or something like that. Somebody could literally walk right past it and not know what it is. Somebody else could look at it and go, oh, this is
look what
like
I stumbled upon.
Grail. Or there's value in different things that like we all find value in different stuff. So the thing about it is like, can we as individuals demand our own value? Yeah. How the fuck did we get here on Usher Bucks? But it's great that we are here. So, you know, I want to see people look at value in what we are doing, what is being done, so on and so forth. But let's keep it rocking. We got about 30 some minutes.
To put a cap on this,
let's go.
Imagine if you was shaking ass, not you per se, but put yourself in the shoes of one of these exotic dancers.
No.
Not you understand what I'm saying.
Imagine
you've been working.
Imagine if
night,
a young lady that you knew was in that situation,
in that field.
Yeah.
Or you've been working all night for tips, and somebody gives you $200.
Hey,
funny money.
No,
money.
bro. See, again, I think this is just speculate. Yeah, that sounds terrible, but who knows what happened prior to? So again, it's just sensationalism on the internet. People are running with it. Like, good for him if he's promoting a residency in Vegas and he got money printed that looks like real money, but it ain't real money with the translucent stripe or whatever is in there.
This shit is funny as hell, though.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
I laughed very hard when I saw this.
So did I. I thought it was very hilarious,
bro. It took us a little bit, but the Discord was wild, bro. The Discord, have you seen 21 Savage on Instagram? Please tell me y'all have not. Oh my goodness. 21 Savage went crazy on Instagram and posted a picture of him flexing with some Usher Bucks, like for the gram, dumb as can be. Oh, it's wild, bro.
I believe it. These guys love to fucking just clown each other. And but that's also important though. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's important to be able to maintain a certain relationship with each other, like where you could be able to, you gonna get these jokes right now, my guy. You know what I'm saying? Like he seen the Bucks, like Usher Bucks.
Chris, that's my brother. I love him. I love for him, but he has a reputation of being the no pull-out king. He won't even pull out a sofa. He won't pull out the driveway.
I was talking to my daughter about this
conversation
about 3 hours ago.
This man won't pull out a thought out of somebody. You can't send him to interrogate nobody because
that's not true.
He won't pull out a conversation
that's not true.
Out of somebody.
Hey, yo.
I could pull a conversation out of anybody. I won't pull my dick.
Pause,
pause. You know what I'm saying? I was about to say I won't pull out like on that, but like pause, but like but yeah. Anyway, Kings, can we get this? Since we talk about flagrant,
you know what I'm saying? Wow, this is super flagrant too. Let me change this background, bro.
Oh no, I got it. Listen.
Trying to get to Savage. 21. Yeah, so 21 Savage was flexing. You see him on the balcony, you know what I'm saying? Got the Usher Bucks. You really can't even see the Usher Bucks. Dang it. You got the Usher Bucks right here.
Oh my god.
In hand. You know what I'm saying? Flexing on the gram. So.
In the immortal words of Will Ferrell, you need to relax, Chris.
You need to relax, Chief. I'm sorry. I apologize, bro. I apologize. Anyways, all right, let's continue, man. Let's continue. What else we got rocking on the CDB?
Right, so I know we were gonna save this for our future wrestling segment.
Let's go.
But we're just gonna run through WrestleMania.
WrestleMania. Listen here, brother.
But I do want to speak to Chris. We're going to speak about it at another time. About all the releases that happened over this week.
What happened?
72 hours.
What happened?
Samoa Joe got released.
From WWE?
Yes,
correct.
A lot of people got released.
Are they making way for new talent?
No.
I think Samoa Joe wanted his release anyway.
They didn't clear him.
Yes, that's what the biggest.
WrestleMania was good. It was okay. It was bad. It was all in between. My boy Roman Reigns won.
Fuck Roman.
See, there you go. Another reason why I love this guy, but we argue about everything. He doesn't know,
Doesn't know what? Real wrestling? Because Roman is not a real wrestler.
He doesn't know, but it's okay.
I know showmanship.
Listen,
and I know money.
Acknowledge him.
I acknowledge the money grab that he is.
Just acknowledge him.
No, he ain't my head of the table.
He is the head of the table, and you should
bugging. I would never bow to another nigga or another man. Pause.
2 African American females made history by headlining WrestleMania.
Let's go.
That was
indeed. That was beautiful.
Occasion. Bianca Belair won that match, which I knew that she would. My boy Cesaro, the King of Swing, he won his match. About time they gave him a push. What else? And
first solo WrestleMania match
in about 7 years.
10 years. 10 years that he's been in the business of WWE. He's never had a solo match. So that's also important to point out.
Capped WrestleMania off. It was okay. Florida. So I just heard that there was a couple of people in there with COVID. It was about 15. What was it, like 5,000 to 6,000 people there, and a couple of people had COVID and they let them in. But prayers to everybody. But WrestleMania was a good show. It was. Night 1 was better to me than night 2. I hope they can build upon this this hype, and the next couple of shows will be much better than.
You also highlighted that we had 2 African American women who main event, right? But let's also highlight the fact that Bobby Lashley defeated Drew McIntyre. All right.
Bobby Lashley, while I admire that he's an African American man having a championship.
All right. I really want to see where you're going with this.
He is absolute trash.
You are fucking smoking.
Wow, Len.
He is absolute trash.
He is an amateur background wrestler. He's an amateur background wrestler. The only thing that say that Bobby Lashley lacks is microphone skills. But when it comes to
everything.
What?
He lacks everything. This man right here.
If that was the case, then he would have took that title off of him and put it on Drew's fucking waist. You're bugging. Athletic ability. I'm gonna say one thing to you.
Drew is better chasing the title than having it. So they're gonna make him chase
on the grandest stage of them all, though. On the grandest stage of them all, you're going, bro. Come on, man. Come, you watch wrestling. You watch wrestling. I'm really talking to you right now, bro.
All right, so I'm gonna interject with because I know we're on sports. I wanna hear who is your GOAT wrestler of all time, like your number one go-to.
AJ Styles.
AJ Styles,
the phenomenal one.
Over Shawn Michaels,
bruh. What?
See? That's why
you going off for showmanship once again.
They should never let you into Colorado. You know that.
You're going off for showmanship once again.
They should have never let you into Colorado.
Shawn Michaels is nowhere near in the same fucking category as a wrestler as AJ Styles.
You mean Mr. WrestleMania?
Let's.
You're disappointing me. Shawn Michaels.
Absolutely.
Is your GOAT.
Absolutely.
I'll give it to you. That's your GOAT. No argument.
You said AJ Styles. Wow.
But what I'm saying is,
and I give him his full-fledged props. He is one of the best of this generation. He doesn't compare to
Shawn Michaels cannot lace his boots.
Are you out of your mind?
In a wrestling match?
Are you out of your mind?
In a wrestling match.
For real, yes.
Have you watched AJ Styles?
Yes, I have. I've been following him since TNA. I've been following him since PGW. I know that. Listen, doesn't matter.
Okay.
Mr. WrestleMania.
Okay.
All the way. And hold on.
You talking about the first time? You talking about the guy that won his very first heavyweight title shot, a heavyweight championship, and a fucking match that he didn't win against Bret Hart? Bro, you're putting him as the greatest. Don't talk to me, O. Don't talk to me, O. How the fuck are you gonna put a guy's first ever heavyweight title run? Listen, first ever heavyweight championship run.
1 second. 1 second. Let me share my screen.
Dude,
this is what needs to happen.
The things.
To somebody who did not win.
You see this right here? This is
Marty Jannetty. I'm not Marty Jannetty.
Listen, right there.
I'm not Marty Jannetty.
For your take, you need to be thrown out the window. Absolutely.
Bro, for you to sit there and say that Shawn Michaels is the greatest. And his first
one of the greatest.
Double A asks who is your GOAT?
He is the great. To me, he's the greatest.
All right then, and I'm talking to you.
First Grand Slam champion,
bro. He was a baby face.
I mean, I would probably say the most recognizable is probably the Undertaker.
Yes. But I don't think he was even.
He's not the greatest. I think most recognizable, we probably all agree, is the Undertaker. The greatest wrestler.
Listen.
And
honestly, Double A, no offense, but I don't even value opinion on the greatest wrestler because honestly, you stopped watching at a certain.
Listen, do me a favor, man. Look at this.
Like you didn't transition.
None of that.
Bro,
it could be The Rock.
Wrestling has transitioned so much more.
That's what needs to happen to you right now for that take. You out of your mind.
Who? Me?
Chris.
Chief.
AJ Styles, you think is the greatest wrestler?
Yes.
Why? How?
Oh, how?
Yes.
How?
Technicality.
All right.
So all the other stuff was great.
Well, all what other stuff? Showmanship.
There's others. Showmanship. You've got how to control the crowd on the mic.
Yes. How to control the crowd. Showmanship.
AJ Styles did that.
He never controlled the crowd. Shawn Michaels is the greatest. He's probably better than Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan. They are crowd controllers.
One of the greatest factions.
I will never ever dispute that. I will never dispute the fact that they were crowd controllers. But if we're talking about pure athletic ability and we're talking about pure wrestling ability, there's only two GOATs in my mind, and that's AJ Styles and Bret the Hitman Hart.
Oh yeah, there. All right, cool. There it was.
I'll put Bret up
Bret
there.
Hart for sure is number one.
Bret got screwed, and Bret screwed Bret. Once again.
Also, the guy that you guys championed for his
Bret Hart
WrestleMania fucking championship run when he won from a man who never fucking tapped. How you get the fuck, man? How is Shawn Michaels in that category, bro?
Listen. All right, Chris, we're gonna move away from sports because
let's get at it. Wait, first off, here recently, so we were looking at.
No, I'm just passionate about it.
All right. MLS, if I'm not mistaken,
yes,
MLS,
let's go ahead.
Has just started Man, I'm interested to see what is going on with the MLS, right? Man, it's a lot of different plays. Being a recent season ticket holder, which this year I just decided not to do it with FC Cincinnati, who's made a lot of very, in my opinion, very interesting moves. I'm interested to see what that's going to look like. There's a lot of different storylines. The one weird thing about the MLS is that like players just move so much across different teams, which is understandable, but it's like the league really in theory owns them versus like it's an ownership based upon like that particular team. There might be certain players that they have cap room for, or then, you know, they have to make way because they're probably trying to move around stuff. It's really just about like, it's not the same as like the European setup to where, yeah, of course you do have to make way for certain players to then try and create, like, you have to shake it up, right? Because you can become stagnant. You could actually fall. FC Cincinnati has been at like the last place within the league in the last 2 years, but a lot of that is due to the short amount of time that they've had to try and do everything all at once. Create an academy.
Hold on, one question real quick. MLS, that's the American League, right?
Yeah, Major League Soccer.
Exactly. So, no, that's what I'm saying. Like, so compared to American League of MLS and compared to like globally, you know what I'm saying, with the soccer region, you know what I'm saying?
We are very far behind, and we also don't operate.
That's what I wanted to go ahead and get into real quick.
So we're far behind, number one, based on the American soccer, or well, really the sporting setup is bad. And well, I'd say it's flawed. It's a pay-to-play system. Number one, I've said this before, that from my experience as a player and a coach, the setup is that if you have the money, it'll facilitate the coaching, which possibly could bring you the skill set, but it's going to at least allow for you to have the opportunity. So unless you're just a dog, which the equivalent would be like, you know, you look at the NBA, like LeBron is LeBron, Kobe is Kobe. Like, you're going to have those transcendent players that they are just God-given like ability, either through like God-given work ethic, where you have like Cristiano Ronaldo, who globally has just been on like the top tier God format of player for the better part of a decade, if not longer. Or you've just got like the alien, which is Leo Messi. Like, you know,
do you think the European, like, well, globally wise, the soccer leagues, they have the biggest name as opposed to like the Major League Soccer?
Well, they do, based upon like how much money goes into it, right? Because if you're looking at, for instance, you know,
I'm not just saying like the money. I'm just saying like let me break it
down a little bit.
Okay,
because that was a really good question. So I want to make sure that I give it like the most forthright answer to be able to bring someone that may not, and it's not just you. So when I say this, and this isn't a slight to you, but it's just more so trying to bring other people in that don't.
Yeah, because I'm not as diverse on the soccer leagues and everything like that. So, that's why I said MLS is that the American League, you know, say as opposed to the global thing, you know what I'm saying? So go ahead, continue. King.
So what you have is that you have the MLS. The MLS is now probably behind the NBA, NFL, and somewhere on par with like Major League Baseball and hockey, like got a spike because people just want to be outside. But if you are looking over the past decade in regards to fan attendance, like marketing, money that's like being pumped into the sport, soccer has grown to like the third, right, based upon kids that play the sport all the way up to, you know, the professional league. So you're having all these different things, like sports are becoming a part of culture, which now like you're starting to see a lot of, especially in MLS. Matthew McConaughey is now one of the part owners of Austin City FC, which is an expansion team, right? I think they go up against LAFC tonight, which LAFC is another expansion team, but I think they came within the same year. as FC Cincinnati, and they had a completely different outcome in regards to like they're a playoff contender in regards to since they've been in the MLS. And the reason why I say it's a different format of that compared to FC Cincinnati is because they had a longer time to assimilate into the MLS. I think they had over almost 1,200 days to prep themselves to become a part of the MLS in regards to like all of the intangibles. So their infrastructure, their possibility, like their stadium either being built or the plan to be built, their academy being set up as well. So all of these things, their practice facility, all these things have to come into play for you to be a part of the MLS. FC Cincinnati had less than
opening day.
Say what? Yeah, to compete on opening day. So FC Cincinnati had less time than less than a year to be MLS ready with all of those things either already in place or at least having a plan to be put in place. So that's what you run into. And the reason why, going back to why I think the setup is jacked up in regards to, do we put the best athletes for that particular sport in place to be successful or at least be on a global scale? Not really, because we really don't even at the soccer, like at soccer, you're competing with basketball, you're competing with football. From the women's perspective, soccer is the primary sport compared to others. Maybe you have women's basketball, you have volleyball.
Europe is light years away.
Light years ahead because they have a sporting academy. There are multiple sports under one roof that allow for different players to flourish. Like that's why you get certain players like Luka that plays for the Dallas Mavericks. Who's the dude that used to play for the New York Knicks? Porzingis. You get a lot of European talent. You got Dirk Nowitzki. You got Tony Parker. Hakeem Olajuwon. A lot of these players are coming from
Ginobili.
either having played soccer or coming from a sporting aspect that, yes, Ginobili, that allows for them to flourish because they've grown up with multiple disciplines, so to speak, in regards to sporting opportunities. And then they just chose a different route.
Absolutely.
Steve Nash, another example. Steve Nash, his brother played for the Canadian national team at one point in time. He played for the youth level. He also is a soccer analyst. So even Chad Johnson, right? Tried out.
He loves soccer.
Yeah, he loves soccer. Plays FIFA all the time. Actually got, and I think that was based on more so his name, right? Versus like his actual ability to play soccer. But he is just an athletic person. Are his foot skills there necessarily? No. Kobe also played. Kobe grew up in Italy, right?
Yeah.
So his father played professionally. That also plays a part as well. If your parents come from a professional background within that particular sport, it does play a part into your upbringing into the sport. But you are starting.
But do you think that because your parents grew up in a certain sport, that also plays a major part in you selecting that same sport to follow in a legacy? Like, especially because like if Kobe Bryant's pops, you know what I'm saying, would have been revered
basketball or did play basketball.
But no, what I'm saying is like yes, rest in peace to both of them. GG.
Speaking
and Kobe.
of rest in peace, I know we're gonna continue with this, but let me just got word. Give me 1 second. Pull that up.
Please don't tell me somebody.
These are the funeral arrangements.
Oh, okay.
For DMX.
Okay.
Gonna be happening on Saturday, April 24th at 4 p.m. at the Barclays, Chris. I know you wanted it to happen at MSG, remember?
I'm not mad about that. I'm not mad about that because it's I'm not mad about whether it be Barclays or whether it be MSG.
No, I'm not saying you were mad.
No. I'm saying because I feel like
that idea.
Yes, I did because I feel like he is such a staple, not only in the hip hop culture, but just in New York alone. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the way that, like, all right, Michael Jackson, you know what I'm saying, Staples Center, right? You had Kobe Bryant.
Staples Center.
You had Nipsey Hussle.
Staples Center.
You have these certain legends who will get these big revered events and funeral services. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? So it's like I feel like DMX deserved that kind of platform. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like whether or not it had been like a exclusive shit, like him coming down the streets, you know what I'm saying, and then they with the rider bikes and everything like that. It just should have been something that should be advertised, at least for the fans around the world. Let me give you
some more details. So April 24th at 4 p.m. is going to be at the Barclays Center. Is open to the public, but very limited.
I see. I'm looking at it right now.
It will also be live streamed all over the world.
Right. So probably a walkthrough.
Yes. The 25th is invite only for the family. The 26th is his burial. That's going to be also for the family. I got different information than what's on here. Yeah, that's going to be all closed to the public, all of that.
Huh.
So the only thing that we're going to have for him is the live stream, or if you're in the New York area, at the Barclays Center. They said it's going to be very, very, very limited. So
yeah. Which is
I'm pretty sure that it will be televised. I'm pretty sure that it will be televised, and that's the biggest thing. That's what I'm saying. Like whether or not if it's televised or live stream, you know what I'm saying? Like this is something that I felt that he deserves. So
of course.
I mean it's
only
people,
right.
Yeah, absolutely. It's people that have to say their goodbye, right? So they've got to disengage and cut a cord cut, so to speak, but they can still make peace with the passing of someone that had a very big impact on the culture. So but yeah, man,
I don't even see it as passing. I see it as transitioning.
Yeah, rest in peace to DMX.
None of us know what's on the other side because none of us been there.
Man, you doom and gloom motherfuckers. All
right, well, listen.
I'm not trying to be doom and gloom. He was him.
Truth again, and I just wanted to give out that breaking news. But
nigga, y'all wasn't even. It's because we was talking about soccer, and you niggas don't know nothing about soccer.
I didn't cut you up, King.
Hold on.
And
I used to be a soccer coach, and I played
okay.
Soccer.
So tell me, what's a better formation to play? A 3-5-2 or a 4-4-2?
Do you understand that I was coaching kids?
I don't care. So what's all right? So tell me if you were training kids, what's the most important thing for them to learn? And I'll make this pretty open, make it easy for you. You just tell me what's the most important thing for a child who's learning how to play soccer.
Balance, control,
stamina.
No, actually, surprisingly, Chief is closer than you would be. So it would be controlling the ball. Also, there's possession, but that leads down the line a little bit later. But the biggest thing is to learn to enjoy and utilize the ball at your feet. Become comfortable with the ball at your feet, sir, and grow.
I won one championship.
I'm Jamaican. I play soccer,
bro.
I'm Jamaican. I play soccer. I ain't gotta tell y'all niggas nothing else besides that. Like,
and fuck you both, respectfully. You know what?
Like,
this has been
control
the
is the best thing.
Podcast, episode 7.
Look, big body hurt.
Wait, hold on. Before we exit out, I want, since we already touched sports and everything, let's also give a shout out to LaMarcus Aldridge, you know what I'm saying, for retiring from the NBA after 16 seasons, you know what I'm saying? So
it was about time.
Didn't he?
It's not, bro. Come on, don't shit on him. Like that man can play.
Didn't
he can play?
Am I confused with LaMarcus Aldridge? Where did he retire from?
He retired from the Nets. He originally started with the with the Portland Trail Blazers. Then he went to the San Antonio Spurs, and then he ended up in the last 20 days in the Brooklyn Nets.
He played 5 to 7 games.
So then he retired, bro. What happened?
That's what I'm saying. Like
his health. Listen, I'm not shitting on him because of his health.
I'm super confused though. Because remember how
he said he had an irregular heartbeat.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So he
that's the reason why he retired.
Got it.
He was already on the back end of his career anyway.
Yeah,
so just figured,
I'm not going to dispute that.
I'm not just gonna,
he was averaging 16 points for the last 2 seasons
out here. That's just basically he wanted to do. He was out there to
Got it. Because that's what led to my confusion. I was just like, wait a minute, didn't he just go to the Nets?
The thing is, like Omar said, he had an irregular heart,
which
rate
that
and
makes
everything.
sense because I've seen, and then he said that in different sports.
He's like, yo, listen here, man. I'm not gonna put my sports career above my health and my family. So I commend him for that.
Money.
There's a lot of.
He's made a lot of money.
Players.
He's made a lot of money.
Yeah, there's a lot of soccer players that have died from like cardiac arrest on the field.
No, correct. That's super important too. Like, because like some people don't know when to say, like, to put their health before. And a lot being of times, a superstar or being in that position to be able to be looked upon as like, oh, one of the greatest, you know what I'm saying? Like, some people don't put they put their career before they put the actual health. And I commend them for that.
I think there are a lot of people too that just don't know when it's time to take a new direction. Right.
Because I get what you're saying.
Because you do have a lot of, and you have to understand too. Think about it like this. If you have spent the majority of your life up until the point in which you retire, preparing to live in that, all of those things, right? That moves yourself forward, right? Because we heard the story about the football player that killed 5 people and then ended up turning the gun on himself.
Philip Adams.
Right. And some people say it's related to CTE, which that is a possibility. But, after a while, I had to think about it and I had to dig into it. And obviously myself, man, like I played the sport of soccer since.
Not to cut you off, bro, but do you think CTE plays in the fact that you will be able to go out there and kill 5 people and then turn the gun and kill yourself?
No, dude.
Because in some way, in some conscious point at your life, at that moment.
I think it's a cop-out. And
thank you, bro.
Like, here's what I'm saying is you have to understand this.
Not every fucking thing is CTE.
Not everything is.
Thank you. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I can understand like you killed yourself or you killed somebody.
No, bro, but you have.
But to be able to kill 5 individuals,
bro, like who knows what happened? I'm not.
No, I'm not disputing that either.
I know that.
But the CTE is a cop out, like you said.
No, some people are just super fucked up. That's it. But at the same time, too, here's where I was trying to go before we went to like.
I'm sorry about that.
No, I understand. But here's where we're trying to go, because it does ask. You do have to ask the question. But in my personal opinion, I don't think so. I think that is an excuse that will be used to maybe make some change towards something. Maybe it might bring some good to it. This is just an unfortunate situation. I also am saying that from the standpoint of people that may or may not dedicate themselves to one particular thing, and this can be anywhere, it doesn't just have to be in sports, but it's like you have built yourself, like, so you have gymnastics, you see, like, if you play the sport of cricket, I think has like a high.
Well, give a different example, because you said besides sports.
Man,
because like for like a lawyer, you know what I'm saying?
Double A. Say what you were gonna say about cricket, because I've always been intrigued about.
That. So like there's a statistic. No, there's a statistic that people who play the sport of cricket, there has been a high suicide rate. So for some reason, like, certain people that have played and represented their countries and played at like their version of the World Games for that sport, and after it's all said and done, something is just, and then they've taken their life, man. And, it probably comes from like, what do I do now? Or I was at a heightened, state of my professionalism and something went wrong or didn't go the way it should have. And then pop, right? But then you also have people like Guarincha, who is an old Brazilian soccer player. And this is before the days of Pele. And the dude had polio. He came from very humble beginnings, made it, end up winning the World Cup, but then end up having a bout with alcoholism and lived out the rest of his days as a former great, but like fell into despair until he, end up like he had a bunch of health problems. Same thing with like Diego Maradona. There are a lot of different examples that you see in sport, right? And rest in peace to all of these people. But then you can translate that, which like for me, I equate a lot of things to sport. Like certain things are team sports. There's other things that are individual sports. So, or if you're a part of a team, then you have to be a good player or your version of a star player to get your recognition, to be able to move forward and have more responsibility. You might even become a captain. You might even become like the coach or manager of the team, whatever it is. So all of these things can come into play into regular life. It's just, how can you equate sports to whatever it is? Like
my personal opinion is just winning is addictive.
Right. But then when you stop winning, then
what do I do now?
Right. Absolutely.
But gentlemen, I know we're getting long in the tooth here, like I said.
Yeah, we are.
It's all good, man. Surprisingly, we have still not gone as long as we normally do.
And
you know what I'm saying?
hold on one second, bro.
I was gonna say I like bringing in the music breaks and stuff like that.
Yeah. No, that was actually really good. What I was gonna say is that today the energy was actually very refreshing for me, because it was like we was able to bounce off each other, and also we was able to touch certain things and not be like over dominant on each other, you know what I'm saying? And be able to get our point across, you know what I'm saying? So today's episode, I really appreciate it, you know what I'm saying? I appreciate all the fans who follow us, CDB podcast, you know what I'm saying, on all platforms, Twitter, you know what I'm saying? Follow us there.
Right now we're on YouTube, but soon enough,
YouTube will be on all streaming platforms also, you know. And not only that, also just I feel like with all the things that we discussed today, you know what I'm saying, whether it been like a downing point and then it got back up to a upbringing point, you know what I'm saying, I feel like we all can really sit back and say today was a good episode, you know what I'm saying, and the fans will really enjoy it. So that's all I was saying.
Listen,
I'm glad that people enjoyed it.
To me, it's a good episode.
It is, man. It's all growth.
It is
exactly the growth.
Every
episode we work, we get a little bit smarter. We do things a little bit better. It gets much easier. It's gonna get to a point where this is gonna be second nature. All right, we're here. Let's do it.
All right. So, with that
take us
being
out.
said, let's, ladies and gentlemen, go to an MF Doom classic. And let me go ahead and share this bad boy.
Before we go any further, as you call them, they call you when they need something. Trees for the blunt, to G's for the front. I found a way to get peace of mind for years and left the hell alone. Turn a deaf ear to the cellular phone. Send me a letter or better, we can see each other in
podcast, episode 7.
Me like a steel knife.
Heard? It's your boy O.E.
Hey.
It's your boy.
Spitting lies. Associates.
Hey, hon. You already know, number one shogun.
Really don't know me. Mom, dad, comrade,
take one fucking head off.
Some come around when they need some money.
Chief Chris, aka the creator Chaos.
You already know.
I'm gonna roll out with this.
C.D.B. We all we got.
We all we got, baby.
Hey. Love y'all. Everybody.
Love you too.
Have a good night.
Peace.